Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapna Dadwal. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Management. This is lecture 24 of Business Law. I'm working at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. And this subject, Business Law, is taught in BBA 4th semester. And this is one of the very important subject of BBA. The topic I'm going to cover in this video lecture are dishonor of negotiable instruments, notice of dishonor, noting and protesting, dishonor of check, discharge of negotiable instruments, then modes of discharge, then discharge of party of negotiable instrument. So I'm starting with dishonor of negotiable instruments. Earlier to this lecture, I have discussed few topics related to endorsement, then who may endorse, then how negotiation and assignment is made, and what is the difference between negotiable and assignment. These were the topics I have discussed in lecture 23. Now I'm starting with first topic of lecture 24, that is dishonor of negotiable instrument. A negotiable instrument may be dishonored by two ways, that is by non-acceptance or by non-payment of negotiable instrument. Starting with first, dishonor of bill of exchange by non-acceptance, that is section 19(1). This is covered in section 91 of Negotiable Act, in Negotiable Instrument Act. A bill of exchange is dishonored by non-acceptance in any one of the following ways. First is if the drawee does not accept the bill within 48 hours of the time of presentment. So the drawee has to accept the bill of exchange within 48 hours of its presentation. If he accepts after that, then negotiable instrument automatically get discharged. The second one is if there are several drawees and all of them do not accept. If there are more than one drawee, then all drawees have to accept. If any of the drawees doesn't accept, then negotiable instrument get discharged. Third one is when presentation for acceptance is excused and the bill is not accepted. Next is when the drawee is incompetent to contract. Then next is when drawee is a fictitious person, or after reasonable search the drawee cannot be found. So these are the reasons which in these cases bill of exchange get dishonored. Now the second one is dishonor by non-payment. A negotiable instrument is dishonored by non-payment in the following cases. The first is the maker of the promissory note, acceptor of the bill of exchange, or the drawee of the check makes defaulting payment upon being duly required to pay the same. Second case is when the bill remains unpaid at or after its maturity. So in these two cases, negotiable instrument get dishonored by non-payment. In both the cases, the payment is not being paid to, or payment is not being paid to the acceptors of the, or to whom the negotiable instrument or to the holder of the negotiable instrument. Now the next topic is notice of dishonor. So notice of dishonor means formal communication of the fact of dishonor. It is given to the party sought to be made liable, and therefore it serves as a warning to the person serves to the warning to a person to whom this notice is made given, and to whom the notice is given that he could be made liable for the dishonor of the instrument. So when a negotiable instrument is dishonored, the holder must give a notice of dishonor to all the parties whom he wants to make liable on the instruments. If he fails to do so, except in the cases when notice of dishonor be excused, all the prior parties liable thereon are discharged of their liabilities. So it is very clear that notice of dishonor should be given to all the persons which are parties to the negotiable instrument. Now comes the next topic is noting and protesting. So noting means the recording of the fact of dishonor by a notary public on a dishonored bill or upon a bill attached thereto or partly upon each. Protesting now, when a promissory note or bill of exchange has been dishonored by non-acceptance or non-payment, the holder may, within a reasonable time, cause such dishonor to be noted and certified by notary public. Such formal certificate by the notary public is called as protest. So this whole process is called as protesting. The next topic is bouncing or dishonor of check. A check is said to be bounced or dishonored by non-payment when the drawee of the check makes default in payment upon being duly required to pay the same. So unless there are valid reason to dishonor a check, the banker must take utmost care to see that the check drawn by their customers are duly paid when presented. This is necessary to maintain a high acceptability of checks in commercial world as negotiable instruments. Now the next topic is liability of banker for dishonor of check. A banker must honor its customers' check. A bank, because of its contractual relationship with customers, is duty bound to do this. A bank has to give valid reason for refusing the payments. If a bank dishonors a check without reason, it has to compensate its customer, that is the drawer. So there are principles for awarding damages in such cases. A non-trader customer is entitled to general damages for the monetary loss. However, a trader or a businessman customer is entitled to claim special damages for the loss of credit and reputation for the dishonor of check by bank without any reasons. So when banker must refuse payment of its customer's check. So there are some cases when a banker must refuse payment of his customer's check without incurring any liability. So the following are some cases where banker is bound to dishonor its customer's check. First one is stop payment. When the banker receives the instructions from the customer not to honor or not to make payment on a particular check issued by him. The second is garnishee order. So when the banker receives garnishee order, that is a prohibiting order by any court attaching the money in the customer's account. Third reason is death. When the banker receives the notice of the death of his customer Fourth is insolvency, when the banker receives the notice of the insolvency of its customers. Then insanity, when the banker receives the notice of insanity of its customer. Then assignment, when the banker receives a notice of assignment of his credit balance from the customer. Then defect in title, when the banker suspects or notices that the title of the person presenting the check is defective and the banker has reasonable reasons to believe this. The next one is loss of check, where banker receives a notice of loss of check from the customers. So these are the reasons where bank must refuse or must dishonor the customer's check. Now, when banker may refuse payment of its customer's check. Then this is the next topic. So there are cases in which the banker may refuse the payment of its customer's check. These causes of this refusal may be: first one is insufficient fund in the customer's account. When funds in the customer's account are insufficient to honor the check presented, then banker may refuse payment of customer's check. Second is funds are not applicable for the check presented. Third one is when the check is presented at different branch. Fourth one is when the check is presented after banking hours. Fifth one is when the check is presented after 6 months from the date of its issue. Then next one is when the check is presented before the actual date of presentation date. The next is when the check is undated. So these are the causes where banker may refuse payment of the customer's check. Now the next one is discharge of negotiable instrument. The term discharge in relation to negotiable instrument has two connotations, like discharge of instrument or discharge of one or more parties from liability of the instrument. So I'm starting with discharge of an instrument. An instrument is said to be discharged only when the party is ultimately liable thereon is discharged from its liability. All rights of action under the instrument are completely extinguished and the instrument ceases to be negotiable. Then it is called a discharge of an instrument. Now the next topic is mode of discharge of an instrument. The following are the modes of discharge of instrument. The first one is payment in due course. The second one is by cancellation. Next, by party primarily liable becoming holder. Then by express waiver. By discharge as simple contract. So these are the ways, these are the modes by which a negotiable instrument can be discharged. I'm starting with the first, that is payment in due course. If the maker or the acceptor make payment to holder of the instrument at or after maturity, the instrument is discharged. The second reason is by cancellation. If the holder of the instrument cancels or endorses name with intent to discharge him, the instrument is discharged. Then third one is by party primarily liable becoming holder. If a acceptor of a bill of exchange becomes its holder at or after maturity, on his own right the instrument is discharged. The next one is by express waiver. When the holder of negotiable instrument renounces in writing or gives up his right against all parties to the instrument is discharged. Then fifth one is by discharge as simple contract. A negotiable instrument may be discharged in the same way as any other contract for the payment of money. Now the next topic is discharge of parties. A party is said to be discharged only when a party or parties to negotiable instrument are discharged to the payment of negotiable instrument. Now the following are the modes of discharge in case of discharge of parties. The first one is by payment. When a payment on instrument is made in due course, all the parties to the negotiable instrument get discharged. Then second is by cancellation. A holder may deliberately cancel the name of any of the parties liable under negotiable instrument with intent to discharge them from their liability. Then third one is by release. If the holder of a negotiable instrument releases any party to the instrument by any method other than cancellation of names, the parties so released are also discharged from the liability. Then fourth one is by allowing drawee more than 48 hours to accept. If the holder of the bill of exchange allows the drawee more than 48 hours to accept, the all previous parties not consenting to such allowance are thereby discharged from the liability. The next one is by not giving notice of dishonor. Any party to negotiable instrument to whom the notice of dishonor is not sent by a holder of the negotiable instrument is discharged from the liability. The next one is by taking qualified acceptance. If a holder of the bill agrees to qualified acceptance, all prior parties whose consent is not obtained to such an acceptance are discharged from the liability. The next one is by delay in presenting check. It is the duty of the holder of a check to present it for payment within a reasonable time of its issue. If he fails to do and bank refuses to pay, the drawer is discharged from the liability. Then by material alteration. Material alteration is that change in the negotiable instrument which causes it to speak a different language and legal effects. So these changes may relate to legal identity of the instruments. So by changing the material alteration, the instrument automatically, the parties get discharged to the instrument. Now these are the questions which are related to the above topics. If any query is there, you can always contact me. If any confusion is there, please do contact me. And there may be few mistakes, typing or writing mistakes. Please ignore those writing mistakes. Thank you so much.